Love seafood but don't have cash to splash? Got a handful of fish sticks on hand? Well, you're in luck, because there are plenty of ways to turn this low-budget staple into a gourmet treat. If you're late to the fish stick taco trend, then where have you been? It's really not as strange as it sounds. The breaded fish stick will add a crunchy element to each bite, and the delicate taste of the fish means that it is primed and ready to take on bolder flavors that you might load into the taco. Haddock and cod are both generally good to use in tacos, and they also happen to be commonly used as the fish and fish sticks. So while it might not be a conventional choice, fish sticks make taco night a breeze. They're quick to cook, less messy than preparing fresh fish from scratch, and a lot cheaper than visiting your local fishmonger. And they're highly versatile too. If you're looking for ways to upgrade your fish taco game, then try adding a creamy sauce using a soft tortilla or adding some kind of seasonal produce for a fresh slaw. Sandwich, burger, slider, whatever you want to call it, one classic way to upgrade your fish sticks is by simply putting them between two slices of bread. This is a quick, satisfying meal that, when done right, will deliver that carby, crunchy satisfaction that never fails to hit the spot. There are a few routes to go down when you go about making your sandwich too.
It's so good.
Yeah.
There's only 10 seconds and I haven't
It's
got
that
time.
sweet, spicy, just zesty vibe. Go for it, babes.
For example, you could follow in the footsteps of McDonald's and make a copycat Filet-O-Fish. This one requires a simple hamburger bun, a little bit of American cheese, some tartar sauce, and of course, a few fish sticks in place of the company's breaded square of fish. Perfect for when you're low on time or motivation. But why not get a little more creative? You could lean towards a fish sandwich with triple pickle tartar if you want to push the boat out. It will still have that familiar McDonald's flavor, but with just a little more going on. All you need to do is mix together some mayo, dill pickle, cucumber, garlic powder, dill, chives, bread and butter pickle, and vinegar. Or you could opt for a grilled fish stick and cheese sandwich, which is, well, exactly what it sounds like. And it really does work. If you've got some leftover rice waiting for you in the refrigerator and some fish sticks in the freezer, then good news, you're already halfway to a delicious meal. According to one Reddit thread, chopping up fish sticks and adding them into a portion of fried rice is a great dinner hack. Chef Erin Morley made a whole video on TikTok where she whips up an easy sweet and sour sauce, chops up whatever vegetables she has on hand, and fries them up with the cooked fish sticks before sticking the whole lot on top of white rice. The beauty of this way of upgrading your store-bought fish sticks is that it is totally open to interpretation. If you've got broccoli, carrots, and onions in your pantry, then throw them in. Mushrooms and bell peppers? Use those instead. Like the vegetables, the sauce is customizable too. You could make a sweet and sour sauce like Morley, or whip up your own concoction. It's your choice. Italians might want to look away for a moment. A fish stick lasagna isn't traditional by any stretch of the imagination, but what it lacks in tradition, it makes up for by being a hearty, filling meal that provides a great way to use those fish sticks that are lingering in your freezer. A fish stick lasagna calls for fish sticks to act as the protein, instead of the ground beef that you'd usually use. They are layered up between sheets of lasagna, a creamy white sauce, and vegetables.
Mamma mia!
Hopefully this version of the recipe allows those who prefer to avoid red meat to get their lasagna fix, as it forgoes the need for beef. There is something of an elephant in the room when it comes to the nutritional value of fish sticks. Yes, they are a great source of protein and omega-3 fatty acids, but they can also pack a hefty dose of saturated fats and sodium, which might make you think twice before eating them. Of course, when served with fries and a high-sugar processed sauce, your meal isn't going to win any health awards. So why not upgrade your fish sticks by serving them in a nutrient-packed fresh salad? There are a couple of ways to make a fish stick salad. A panzanella fish stick salad, for example, is a tempting muddle of homemade croutons, mozzarella cheese, tomatoes, red onion, and a zingy vinegar-spiked dressing. Or if you are after Mexican flavors instead, then a fish taco salad will give you a delicious nutrient-rich meal from the lettuce, slaw, corn, and tomatoes. Whatever you choose, it'll be on the table in no time at all, as you can assemble the body of the salad while the fish sticks bake. Wraps have got to be one of the handiest ways to enjoy lunchtime. They're easy to grab and go when you're on the move, but work equally well if you make them ahead of time. But have you ever thought to add a fish stick into your wrap? It's not as weird as it sounds. A popular menu item at the British chain restaurant Leon is the fish finger wrap, which is filled with romaine lettuce, pickles, and tartar sauce. You've only got to look at a few social media posts to see that it was a heck of a hit across the pond. If this kind of thing sounds good to you, all you need to do is grab some tortillas and pick your fillings. Lettuce, tomato, cucumber, and mayonnaise or ketchup will add all the crunch and moisture your wrap needs. Or you could opt for a copycat version of Leon's dish. The world really is your oyster. A po' boy is a very specific type of sandwich that comes from New Orleans. The French bread base will be topped by some kind of protein, usually beef, shrimp, or fried catfish. It'll also include a remoulade of some variety and is usually dressed up with shredded lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, and mayonnaise.
Eating this thing is going to be a beautiful, delicious mess.
Fried catfish is a particularly popular filling for the po' boy, and it's not a far cry from a fish stick either. Both are white fish, and both are fried for a crispy outer layer. To make your po' boy, you'll have to focus on those classic Cajun spices. Paprika and cayenne will be the main players here. And you could do worse than rustling up a buttermilk-based sauce for your po' boy too. Cut back on prep time with a well-made fish stick po' boy, and you certainly won't regret it. Everyone knows a good sauce or condiment is one of the easiest ways to upgrade a meal. But don't let yourself be restricted to boring old ketchup or tartar sauce when it comes to your fish stick dinner. The Brits offer a lot of inspiration for some interesting condiments in this regard. Parts of the UK are known for smothering their chips in a curry sauce, which is essentially a tangy, spiced mix of ginger, curry powder, and vinegar. Weird? Maybe. But if it goes well with fish and chips, and it does, it'll work great with your plate of fish sticks too. Another British classic your next meal needs is mushy peas. Again, you'll usually find these in chippies in the UK. A simple concoction of peas, butter, and herbs. This handy side will bring a welcome hit of nutrients to your fish stick dinner. Rather stick to more American flavors? A zesty cocktail sauce will pair beautifully with seafood, and you'll likely have the ingredients in your refrigerator already. All you really need is ketchup, Worcestershire sauce, horseradish, and a little lemon juice. There are many versions of fish casseroles out there, from tuna casseroles to baked stuffed shrimp casseroles to scallop casseroles and everything in between. It seems that there's not a fish out there that can't be put in an oven-proof dish, smothered in a buttery sauce, and mixed with something starchy to bring it all together. That goes for fish sticks too, and it turns out that tossing them into a casserole is actually a great way to make use of your store-bought fish sticks. A good fish stick casserole recipe needs just a handful of ingredients and will take no time to prepare. The result is a steaming casserole that you don't necessarily need to add any additional crunch to, as it's already there in the breading of the fish sticks. Serve it with a side of vegetables, and you'll have a quick fix meal that'll serve the whole family. The fish stick pie recipe provided by grocery store chain Tesco has got to be one of the most British recipes ever concocted. The company has created a pie using fish sticks, a mashed potato topping, and get this, baked beans to pad out the filling.
Pick up a tin of beans and say, beans means Heinz.
To make this pie, the cooked fish sticks are layered onto the bottom of a casserole dish before adding a can of baked beans and tomato sauce, cheese, and mashed potato in layers. They recommend serving the meal with some steamed greens to make it a complete dinner. And honestly, it sounds pretty good. Crunchy fish sticks, tangy beans, melted cheese, and some fluffy potatoes is the kind of meal that would be hard not to fall in love with. Plus, it comes with some added benefits too. The addition of canned beans is a cheap way to add a boost of fiber and protein, and the cheese and tomato sauce will make this meal tempting to even the fussiest of eaters. Where Nigella Lawson goes, we must surely follow. And while the combination of fish sticks and Indian flavors might sound wrong to the untrained ear, Lawson begs to differ. In fact, she has upgraded her store-bought fish sticks by adding them into a bhorta. Bhorta is a traditional South Indian dish made from a base of aromatics, vegetables, and spices. After that, meat, potatoes, or fish are mashed into the mix, making a spicy, fragrant, and hearty meal. And as it turns out, all it needs is the addition of fish sticks to make it even better. In her recipe, Lawson adds cooked fish sticks straight into the pan with all those spices. Add a little lime juice to finish, and you've got a comforting combination of flavors boosted by the crunchy texture of the fish sticks. Is it traditional? Well, no. But does it make for a seriously delicious dinner? You bet. There's no doubt that peas and white fish go well together. Just ask the British. So topping your pea soup with chopped up fish sticks is obviously going to taste pretty good. They'll also add a nice bit of texture to your meal, which is particularly welcome when it comes to soup. And while a simple pea and mint soup is a light way to easily pack in a good serving of vegetables, it does lack a good source of protein. Another win for fish sticks. The chicken parmesan is an American favorite for a reason. Crisp chicken, a good carb hit, and of course a generous portion of cheese. That's a recipe built for success. But why not switch things up a little and instead of breaded chicken, top your spaghetti with fish sticks? It sounds odd, but it really does work. If you really want to take things to the next level, be sure to pick up the best marinara sauce you can get your hands on, or make your own at home. Whichever option you choose, swapping out chicken for fish sticks next time you make a parm might be the best culinary decision you ever make.